It's been a minute since I streamed, right? So I was, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I don't have my checklist. I usually have a checklist going, lets me know, like, am I getting everything done right? I'm like, oh, it's been a minute. If you guys don't know, I've been sick most of the summer. So I took a break from streaming and yeah, I took a break from streaming, had to get healthy. I'm one of those really weird people that when I'm even if I'm sick, I still get out there and I still work out. So, I mean, worst case scenario is you throw up on the side of the running path. But I don't care about that. I don't care what people think. But yeah, had a good summer. Finally had you know, the bit of oral surgery that I needed to fix the nerve in my face. What was going on is I had an infected nerve in my gum, and what was ultimately happening is every time I moved, I just would throw up. So trying to stream was difficult, and then finally got that taken care of. Now we're waiting. We're waiting for a little Ashes of Creation to go live. Still waiting to do the download. Still waiting on that. But it has been a minute since we were able to jump in a Verra. Is it the full game or just the Battle Royal? It's just the Battle Royal for today. Big thing, if you guys are new to Ashes of Creation, click on my YouTube channel down below on the Twitch. I try to spell everything out because not everything is always spelled out in user-friendly terms. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of people out there deliberately spreading like bad information. They know better. Like they know better. They know what's going on, but they're choosing to say things in a certain way. Today's test was always intended to be a 12-hour test. Let them test their server infrastructure, make sure it's ready to go back online. Then we're going to get, hopefully, this should be a one-shot. It only takes one try. They got it right. That would be the ideal situation. That they got it 100% right today. And we can just move on. Now, in case they didn't get it 100% right today, we'll then expect to see a few more test sessions while they iron it out. I'm really hoping that with with a 6-month gap, internal testing, external testers, using the Phoenix Initiative people as testers, I'm really hoping that they got all those little bits and pieces ironed out. Now, I know the big thing right away people are saying is, well, the Steam fiasco, yeah. Let me tell you, that's... There's a lot of bits and pieces that go on with an early access game. They were on top of it. I was talking to Toast last night. I was like, hey, I think this is the reason why. It just didn't populate really well. That's not on Intrepid's side. A lot of that has to do with Steam, Valve, and how it populates the game. Other problem is people could see the page. A couple of people were able to see it, and they were able to see it, and so they started sharing the link. I know people are happy about hype, but sometimes it's not the best thing to do. Keep what you have under your hat, and let things work themselves out. Now, I will say Intrepid didn't do a very good job with discussing and disclosing the process. I would have liked to have seen them spell out a little bit more clearly. Hey, if you have a my.com account and you use Steam, then you're automatically going to be linking your accounts. I would have liked to have seen them spell that out. I get that they want to use Steam. Steam is going to give them some reliable numbers. It's going to give them some public numbers. A lot of people say, well, they can release the numbers. I remember when Steven did that. Steven released the numbers in December. People didn't believe him. Well, I mean, short of them appointing community members that get to, like, you know, travel to San Diego to look at stuff, sign an NDA in case they see something that's not supposed to be released, you got to trust the guy giving you the numbers. So now Steam is going to show some numbers. If everybody logged into Steam is actually going to play, we should have some quick turn matches. Looked like about 700 people were hanging out on Steam, so that's good. What you guys are seeing on the screen is this is old footage. I'm just that good. I can play this well, and not have to touch anything. So this is one of my highlight reels. I'm gonna say I hate battle royale games. I hate first person shooters. But you know, you get over it and you get better and you start to enjoy it. I liked wandering around the world. Yes, dude, Magic Man, I got a haircut. The reason why I was saying at the beginning of the show, I had an infected nerve in my jaw, in my face. I couldn't get a haircut because I went to get my hair clipped and it was excruciatingly painful with that vibration on the side of my head. So I said, I'm not doing it again until the dental work is done. That was awful. Part of it was a joke. I always make fun of my father when I go to see him yearly. I like to grow in the sideburns in the hair a little bit, but nowhere near as much as I intended. Like, literally the first thing I did after my dental work was done and my head wasn't pounding, I was like, haircut. So that was on the top of the list. But checking one more time, seeing what is up. I haven't seen them make the announcement yet that the servers are ready to go. Servers are down for maintenance. 12:59. No, it's not live yet, Nate. This is my highlight reel. Just doing a little bit. Oh my God, Sweetheart! It's 16 months. Look at that. Take that off for them. Oh, what that is? I got stuff on here. Yeah, some marriages don't even last this long. Is there really a flip-flop hidden in APOC? There is a sandal hidden in APOC. If you find the sandal, you want to take a screenshot with it and post it to Margaret. Tweet it to them, however you need to do it. That's going to be the big part of what I'm doing today. I'm going sandal hunting. I am not the guy you come to my channel to watch APOC footage for to get, like, you know, tips on how to be a good battle royale player. Yeah, I have a really cool highlight reel, but this is compiled from hours and hours of failures. You're bummed it's only 24 hours though? You're busy? Yeah, it's not even 24 hours. It's 12. It's from now and then 12 hours from now. The big thing is, I know a lot of people are upset about that. I get it. Again, I would have done things a little bit differently. I would not have put it onto Steam for a 12-hour test. I would have done the 12-hour test only with my own launcher. And then when it was a little bit more solid, I would have moved it over to Steam. However, I'm not the guy in charge, right? Steven obviously has a plan. I think Steam, as you guys saw in the video that I did last week, I did kind of torque Steven off, which, I mean, goes to a testament that there's an individual who runs around saying that as soon as you say something bad about Intrepid, you get insta-banned from all of their platforms. I'm like, that's complete lunacy. I have a negative opinion of some of the stuff Steven does. I have a negative opinion about some of the things I see. I don't put everything that I see out there. There are some times that I poke Steven privately. I'm like, hey, WTF, mate. Hey, where are you going? But there's some concern. There's some reasons for concern. Not everybody shares them. You don't have to share them. You do not have to share those concerns. I think there's some speculation about what's going on and what should be changing and what's not changing. It's up to Steven to rectify those. It's up to Steven to to fix the public perception, if you will. That's not necessarily my job. My job is to take what I'm given, the best that I can work with, share it, and so that's what I'm doing today. Yeah, one of the things I do knock game companies on is, are you late? Are you late? Did you deliver? There are other game companies that have said, dude, we're never gonna work with you because you're a bit of a lunatic. I'm like, that's cool. Just so you know, not working with me doesn't change the fact I'm still gonna say these things. I'm still gonna say the bits and pieces that I do. The only difference is do you have a direct line to me to try to rectify some of those? That's fine. I don't do this because I want the money. I do this because I want to be a service to gamers. And I have the time. I have the time to fight with developers. I have the time to call out the bullshit and say, hey, what are you doing? What's going on? Why is this like this? Sorry, that's the background. I'm reloading the game in the back. But you gonna patch now? Maybe. Looks like maybe. There we go. Patching is in progress. So that's a good sign. I do like this new Discord thing. I really do. I like this new Discord thing where they have announcement servers and I can link those to my server. Makes my job, like, I love automation. I know I'm old. I know I don't look old, but I am old. I am a huge fan of automation. I love it. I love automation. I love it. So I love seeing when they've got the bits and pieces going. Now, I will say, I don't really like their launcher. I don't like their standalone launcher. It pisses me off because I was missing a file and it made me reload. It made me reset. And then it wanted to continue from a temp file. I don't like letting my computer work like that. So I had to figure out what it wanted to install, and then I had to double back and install that manually and then install Ashes. I don't like anything that can ask my computer to restart and then just do processes from a temp file. It's kind of weird. It's also kind of weird that it's the second time we've seen Intrepid's patcher need something that isn't standard on Windows. Before it was FrameNet, and then yesterday it was C++. Not a huge deal for most people. A lot of people said, I was checking with people, I was like, hey, did you have this? They're like, no man, I already had all the files. I was like, weird, strange and bizarre. So it was weird too. I had to do a video, if you guys didn't see that, I had to do a video about expectations. People didn't have realistic expectations. Oh, hi, I don't see you all day. The first time I stream, you come back, and now you run away, little jerk. You sometimes wonder if APOC was the game Steven meant a year ago when he said he plans to release some other games other than the MMO. No, we've actually asked him about that, and Apocalypse is Ashes of Creation. Like, okay, this is one of the things that I kind of beat them up about. Because it's really, okay, as a content creator, I'm an ambassador to the overall genre community. And I'm like, okay, it's a game. Yes, it's a game. Well, no, it's a standalone product. Okay, it's a standalone product. It's not a standalone product, it's a standalone testing environment. Okay, it's a standalone testing environment. Well, it's a game. Hey, dude, you have game on your website. Well, it's a game, but game and testing environment aren't mutually exclusive. That's the sort of Potomac two-step shuffling that pisses gamers off. What is it? Is it a game or is it a testing mode? I've never had a problem with it being a game. Have it be its own game, but you structure it with, hey guys, it is a game that is designed to test action combat. Everything you buy in it, you get a copy of it in the MMORPG. We may or may not continue this product past a certain point. So you know, before you make your purchases, we may not continue this product. If as long as you're open, upfront, and honest, people aren't going to get mad. People just get mad when they feel like you're bullshitting them. Just don't bullshit people. So with that, I know Steven has his Ashes of Creation, The World of Verra, Pathfinder tabletop product. Then there's Ashes of Creation. And then there's a couple of other products that they want to do. A long time ago in a land far away, canceled all the way back in 2014, was a MOBA. They were going to do a MOBA. Now, I'm going to be honest. If you tried to sell a MOBA as a testing platform for an MMORPG, I would probably say you're full of shit. But from a tester's point of view, a guy who does a lot of testing, I'm working with a couple of companies giving my level of feedback. I don't see the problem with the Battle Royale mode. I never have. I don't like Battle Royale modes. I don't like first-person shooters. I don't like those things. However, I think the Battle Royale mode was perfect for testing action combat. I have a video called Perspectives. Alluring is shooting me. I'm downed. Alluring is shooting me, and she can't kill me. She's literally 6 feet in front of me. She can't kill me. Well, the Battle Royale mode solved that problem. The Battle Royale mode gave them feedback into hit scan weapons versus projectile weapons. You know, lots of bits and pieces. Plus, don't forget, the Battle Royale mode is what allowed them to find their server architecture was inadequate for their ultimate goal. Their ultimate goal originally was 500 versus 500 for their fights. Now they've dropped that down to 250 versus 250 with the hope and expectation they can hit 500. Now, why is that a big deal? Why is getting the combat number right early on the important part? Because if you don't get the number right, then a lot of your other game mechanics are going to have to change. If your intention is to have 500 versus 500 with an alliance size of 1200, that limits some options. If you're going to drop those fights down to 250 versus 250, then you might have to change that guild size, that alliance size. It's not like anything exists in a vacuum. So for all the people who constantly just bitch and complain about the Battle Royale mode, what would you have preferred? Them to go straight to siege modes and it have been a total cluster and it not be playable? I mean, remember, there was a lot of Battle Royale testing done in the background that people didn't see because it was only open beta for a week. Now, I know sometimes I beat up on Intrepid pretty harshly. I do that because, you know, if I'm not doing it, somebody's gonna do it. At least I try to make my body shots fair. I try to make my headshots fair. So if I wasn't doing it, you'd have the people of the world who like to complain, and then not just complain, but the people who like to just make up shit. That's another thing that irritates me. If you want to, there are enough things going on with Intrepid and Ashes of Creation that you can have a legitimate complaint about. Why do you feel the need to go and like make stuff up? That's not necessary. And game will now restart. Press OK to continue. Gonna restart automatically? Maybe, possibly. Ah, yep, it restarted automatically. That's a good sign. That is a good sign. It's also good timing because this video is about to end. I love the Harry Potter one, man. Absolutely love it. Let's see. Now, you guys have had a couple a couple of go-arounds. You've been watched a couple of videos with me that show the old stuff. Now hopefully we're going to be able to jump in and see some new stuff. Nope, not done patching yet. What's up? Oh, there we go. Okay. We have tips. I like tips. Not those kinds of tips. Look at that. How to play. Tip 9, tip 21, tip 3, tip 15. I like it. Works for me. Oh, it's been a minute. My muscle memory is gonna be bad. I'm not gonna remember. Although I gotta say, I don't like this tip screen. They need to recenter the tree. I don't like the fact that this is clipping off the tree. That's okay. That's minor stuff. That's minor cosmetic stuff. One second. Move this off of here. There we go. So everyone is stuck on connecting. Servers are going down, boys. Yeah, Zinni, that's a possibility. And here's the thing. Here's what I got. I've always got to remind people. I am probably... Hold on. We're going to grab him. Sweetheart. I got the rare and elusive one. You haven't made a stream appearance in a long time. Because I haven't streamed. There you go. We're 1 for 4 on kitties. Oh, and this is... Hold on, guys. That is one of my kitties. While we're waiting on connecting anyway. You guys haven't seen this. My cat had some dental problems. And he had to go have one of his... I don't know why they're called canines when they're in a cat. It's always made me smile. But that is a cat's canine tooth. My cat's tooth had to get extracted. It's pretty damn amazing. My other cat needs dental work, but she won't take her medicine, so no dental work for her. But yeah, he's a happy guy now. He's got the bad tooth taken out, so that's part, like, honestly, part of where my summer has been. Every time I felt good enough, like, oh, I feel pretty good today, maybe I can slide in like an hour or two stream just to say hi to people. The things that went on, man. My daughter doesn't know how to do anything small. She's go big or go home. She decides she gets a headache, right? And I'm like, okay, she's got a headache. What do we do with that? You know, treat her for a day. Then she says her eye is hurting. So I look at, flashlight, look at her eyes, and her pupils weren't dilating properly. So I said, all right, take her to the eye doctor. She's got some eye problems. Doctor looks at her for like 2 minutes and is like, no, you need to take her to the emergency room. There's something going on, and my best guess is that she has a spinal fluid leak. Holy fuck, man. It's like an idle Wednesday, and you're like, oh, my kid's not having a good day. Oh, spinal fluid leak. Go to the ER. They don't know what's going on. So, that took a lot of time. What's up? Hello to you too, Cass. So, yeah. So a lot of my bits and pieces days, that the individual days that I felt good, I had like full-blown fucking disasters. All right, let's find another Ashes of Creation video. So right now there are no statements from them. But yeah, it looks like we're stuck on connecting. Yeah, that's all good now. My daughter's fine now. It was, We have some really great hospitals in this area, but we have, the thing that sucks is we have a children's hospital, but they are notoriously horrible. But in order to access any of the other services in the local area, you have to go through the children's hospital. So it was like, oh, we'll take her to children's. Well, I don't really want to. What's up, Panda? How's it going? It's going good. Waiting to figure out what's going on with Ashes of Creation. I'm pulling up another video. Pulling up. I'll load this one. Oh no, not this. That I don't have. I don't think I loaded perspectives. I just loaded the other one. I did a comical video. I have no artistic talent. Your patcher isn't going through. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that the servers have completely just, that the servers have died. Too many people trying to connect too fast. That is always a problem. Unfortunately, it's an all too common problem. Another reason, again, coulda, woulda, shoulda, didn't. I would not have put this first test onto Steam, because Steam is like that public face. Like you're showing the world, I'm kind of ready. You're like, I'm kind of ready for the world. And now what you're showing the world is you had 6 months and you didn't work out the little bits. At the same time, that's why I'm against Steam. Steam is like a public platform. They even tell you in Steam, they even say in the Steamworks documentation, before you put the game on early access, have a playable game. So that's kind of their advice. But it is a test. I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm gonna say it constantly throughout the day. This is a test. So remember, it's a test. So it is what it is. But this video right here is what happens when you're a content creator and you're trying to get clever and you're playing with overlays. I really wish I had the time to get better at making videos. But every time I do stuff, people are like, dude, don't try to be cute. Don't try to be clever. Don't try to be creative. You're not that guy. You're the teacher. Just put up your chalkboard border and tell us. The really funny part is I did an Ashes of Creation video yesterday. And then I did an ArcAge video on ArcAge Unchained. Apparently I'm still the go-to guy for ArcAge news because that stupid little infomercial I did completely blew up. It's like over 3,000 views since yesterday, and I'm just like, why did this? I did it for my community because my community supported me for all these years. So I said, all right, my community supported me, let me give them their information. And yeah, my Ashes of Creation video got 1.4k views, and my ArcAge video got 3.4k views. I'm just amazed. I'm just amazed. So what I'm seeing from people, everyone is stuck. Some people got a little bit further than I did. Some people got a little bit further than I did, and for the most part, they're either stuck on the party window or they're stuck on the place I'm stuck. So, little concerning, not so much concerning that this would happen, but a little bit concerning that, they've supposedly done internal, external, and PI testing. Also, I'm a little concerned about my.com. If anybody doesn't know this, Steam, the Steam version earlier, I'm sorry, not the Steam version. Let me roll that back. Let me be factually correct. On the my.com website, they had the January version of the build. That's what was pushing out. People were downloading a 16.9 gig file, and today's build is only, I think, 6. I think somebody had a disconnect there. There was a little bit of a disconnect, which is troublesome, because that's kind of what you pay. That's like, you kind of pay the distributor to be a pain in your ass. Be like, hey, I need the build. Hey, I need the build. Hey, I need the build. Well, I don't have it for you yet. But dude, it's 24 hours before you want to hit the go button. I need the build. ArcAge Unchained is just big news. Yeah, ArcAge Unchained is really big news. Where are you going? You're not done yet. Is really big news. Really big news. So that is true. ArcAge Unchained is actually going to change the scope of this fall MMORPG genre season. You know, there's not really been much changed, so ArcAge is in a great position. What was the context for the Excommunicado video anyway? All right, so there's an individual in the community. I don't care if you have a negative opinion about Intrepid Studios. I don't care if you have a negative opinion of Steven Sharif. I have these things. Not as a person, but like, for example, today, if someone was to try to come along with a censor bat and yell at me because I say this is Bush League, well, we're kicking you out of the content creator program because you insulted This Is Bush League. That's cool, man. If you want me to be a shiny white knight and a shield, you got the wrong guy. That ain't me. I'm gonna say this is Bush League, however, comma, it is testing. This could be as simple as somebody doesn't have a checkbox toggled on the server. So I'm not jumping up and down on their head. This is the point of testing. It is to fix shit like this. The Excommunicado video is about a guy who, he basically makes personal attacks on people, and then what he does is he has all these statements, and then he goes after you personally, then he blocks you, and because you can't respond, he thinks he wins the argument. Well, I just thought it was ironic because this guy goes after Steven as a person, as an individual, not as the CEO of the company, not as a first-time creative director, but as a human being, he's going after him. And I said, all right, well, it's funny because you're banned, and your behavior and your antics are leaving him no choice but to keep you banned. So you're excommunicado. You're not out of the game. Your game account wasn't banned. You're just not allowed to come play anymore. You're not allowed to play in the Discord. Well, the guy basically ban evades over and over and over again, not understanding that every time you ban evade, you're breaking the rules. And the guy just doesn't get it. And then he says it's his personal mission to discredit Intrepid. Okay, well, if that's going to be your personal mission, then it's just my personal mission to call you out for what you are. With that said, I wish the guy would stop being a clown and actually talk about the issues, because occasionally he brings something to light. He brings some good talking points, but not often enough. Did my patcher stop around 54% for some time? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I wasn't really paying attention to the screen 100%. I had these other videos up and running. But if it's stuck now at 54%, I'm pretty certain there's something going on with the servers. The servers are kind of, losing their mind. So we're just filling in the time. And yeah, vindictive of him was, going back to the other guy, being vindictive is one thing, but like going to a level where you do a personal background check on the guy, you get like his home phone number, his home address, his family members, every address he's ever lived at, like doing a 50, 60 page, actually I think it's like 90 some odd pages background check on the guy. That dude, you've got some screws loose. You're stuck on the tip screen. What next? I don't know. We're waiting. We're waiting to find out. We are waiting to find out. They're aware of it. I don't see anything in... I don't see anything in any of the channels. That's kind of funny. Tip number 23, test launcher before launch day. That's funny. That's kind of comical. Apparently some people got to play one game before the servers blew up. Yeah, here, if anybody here, if you guys are here and you guys are in communities and you can share this, fact with other people, putting in a bug report that says I can't log in, don't even bother submitting that bug report. That's just a waste of time, effort, and energy. It's a waste of your time, effort, and energy because you're actually just being a troll. But also on the other end, that creates something that somebody has to do touch time with. I can't log in. Send. Well, the fuck you want them to do with that? Give them something to work with. Like I'm watching a conversation. I'm out of memory. Deleting games won't help with out of memory. If you're trying to run Windows 10 and Unreal Engine 4 games with 8 gigs of RAM, you're probably gonna out of memory yourself because Windows 10 is a hog. Let me check real quick. Just with what I'm running. You might be able to squeeze 8 gigs of RAM. You might get 8 gigs if you've got a decent video card. Because I'm running at exactly 8 gigs of RAM. I'm using exactly 8. I'm also streaming, so OBS is pulling a part of that. I also have Discord open. I obviously have Chrome open. I'm processing videos. So you might get away with 8, but you're gonna be kind of close. You're gonna be kind of close. You probably would be able to do it with 8 with nothing else open. But I'm not even really running the game, right? Well, yes and no. I'm in the loading screen, so that is true. That is true. I am only in the loading screen. Let me exit this out. I'm gonna try to go back in. Oh no, it did it itself. But I mean, and that is a fair point. You're not really running the game, but we saw it the last time. The launcher actually used more resources than the game. But that just goes to, 8 gigs, not really a solid amount anymore with Windows 10. I'd recommend 16. I mean, it's not that expensive. Let me see if I can get back in. If anybody else gets in, let me know. I just closed out. Yeah, connection attempts 2. I'm on 2 connection attempts. It's the #1 trending game on Steam. It's trying to patch again. Okay, that's good. Now we're connecting again. Probably why we can't play. Yeah. And I mean, this stuff is expected on launch day. This is kind of what you want them to be doing. What I would prefer them to be doing is, making status updates. Our team has found the solution that was causing some users to experience match connection issues and will be implementing a fix in 15 minutes. No downtime is required. you going? Hey. You're not done yet. See this video? Apparently we are done. Oh, there we go. Hey, pretty. Happy Hansel. Oh, look at you. It's been a while since we've had bits. Server status. Oh, look at this. I got my 5 free embers. That lines up right there. Let me close this. Save on resources. Look at this. 5 free embers. And 1 ember to unlock. Cool. Armory. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at the obsidian armor. That is pretty badass. Now, you guys won't have access to that. This is one thing I do have to say. I do have to say, way back in February, this is get out your snips, get out, be ready for me to, put a snip on for me being nice to Steven. So back in February, I got to level 49 and I had 4,560 XP. I needed 1 more match to hit level 50. And I asked Steven and Margaret, I was like, please, my OCD, man, I will be sitting here waiting until the next testing session. I will be going insane. Please do 1 more match. And I will say they did. They did. I don't know if it was just for me, but I was the guy who was, please do 1 more match. And they did it, and I got my obsidian armor. So I was very happy. I was very, very happy. How did you get in? Just wait. I actually closed out and I restarted. So I did come out. I restarted. Shield. Where's my shield? I like where it was. Oh, that would be under. Wow, man, it has been a minute. Longsword, great sword. Oh, there's stuff I don't have unlocked. That's right, because I didn't buy the pack. I wish it would show you just the ones you do have. I should have. I need to go back through. Oh, that's right. Some of them I don't. I verified files through Steam and have to download 6 gigs again. I don't know what's going on with Steam. I recommended all of my players, all of my friends, all of my everything to stay out of Steam. Can I click? Yeah, here we go. The weapon bundles, the Wildfire Griffin, appearances. There's the weapon bundles. Emotes. I don't care about emotes. There's the... That. Desktop. I'm sorry, needed to say it's a bug. Gotta do my diligence, gotta put in my bug reports. Alright, so those are all just XP thing. Armory. Oh, yeah, here. No. I do not want a white griffin. I do not want a giant. Shoot me. But have that too. Oh, look at that. Trying to get follows again. That's impressive. Like I said, I had a dream, and that dream was to make Twitch partner this year. However, I was gone for a bit. Oh yeah, look at that. Picking them up now. Now we got a game that we're playing reliably. Quest 1. Oh, quests. Here we go. Hello Darkness. Kill 2 players. 150 with wands. Swords. Repair 200 armor. Open 5 chests. Let's check to see if the quests are working. Lobby, solo, regions selected. US East, ping of 164. Shit. Ping of 31. It's that magical refresh button. Yeah, I'm gonna say this. The page, this first page, looks better. What you guys can't see underneath here is there is a scrolling box, frequently asked questions and patch notes. Join the community. Those are the only two things there. I think this looks better. This looks a lot better than it did. This looks a lot better than it did beforehand. Not that the other way looked bad. What shows up when I press the right corner? Friends, support, settings, credits, patch notes. Oh, let's check patch notes. I'm confused on this. This version of the game is more or less for testing the MMO. If that's the case, why are there microtransactions? Because what they did, and let me get you a link so that people don't think that I'm just bullshitting off my ass. By the way, guys, I'm gonna shamelessly shill for you. If you haven't signed up for the game, my referral code is at the bottom. I give all my money back away. What I've just done is I've just linked into the chat. It's called the Steven answer. Way back in December, I called Steven out and I said, "What the fuck, man? Why are you having microtransactions for a testing ground?" And the reason is they wanted to test the backend architecture. Now, you got to remember they have a pile of money for the MMORPG. That pile of money was going to allow for 10,000 alpha testers. But they wanted to open up the world of Verra to more people. Now, I'm going to keep my opinions, my speculations, my subjective nature. I'm going to keep all that to myself for the moment. What I am going to say is you can go to that interview. And actually what I'm going to do is while I'm waiting for this, I'm going to go to the interview. And what it was is I was like, "Can I ask a bit of a complicated question?" And then I said, "I'm going to frame this." And then this goes back to the whole, you can say whatever you want as long as you base your statements in something that resembles fact, not fiction. Steven, he might get he might get pissed off, he might get angry, but it's human nature. He doesn't just auto right-click ban people from the community. I said, as we've developed some things, have started to maybe shift a little bit closer to the EA Blizzard mentality. The guy literally says, "Oof." No, I wouldn't say that. I said, on the Kickstarter, it says the purpose of the Kickstarter was marketing, stretch goals, give room to breathe. The core viable product is fully funded. Here, the core viable product is fully funded. Steven says, absolutely. Then you shuffled how testing was going to be done in order to create Apocalypse. Now, I can talk about that as a person who was in the community at the time. But you see right here, I say as a community member, we as a community said, we don't believe you can do this level of combat in Unreal Engine 4. And he says, correct, he agrees with me. We don't believe you can do action combat the way you say you can, right? The concern is in the last 30 days, Apocalypse has become over-monetized, and it almost seems like it has become a focal point now. And I'm going to call you out something you said during today. Testing takes money. They pushed a hotfix fix? Okay. Sure. All right. We can do. Oh, cool. I can do it. Are you being stupid? So testing takes money. And if your core viable product was fully funded, he said development was. And then we get into the part, where people didn't understand. Now, I want people to realize something. I ask questions in a way a lot of times because it's not about the question you ask. It's about how you ask it. Sometimes I act really dumb when I ask a question because I want the lowest level answer. Other times I ask the question, you know, a researched question, because I know what I'm looking for. And then I said, okay, so if your core viable development money was there, but you didn't have the money for testing, this is where he knew where I was going, and he just jumps in. And I don't care if people cut me off. If they know the question I'm asking, let me explain. So I absolutely hear what you're saying. Okay? I don't know why I suck at webpage design. Don't judge. I absolutely hear what you're saying. He had fully funded it for 10,000 testers, but he opened it up for the entire pool. Now, I get it that a lot of people are angry. They're like, why are there microtransactions in a testing environment? Well, it's to cover APOC. Maybe you believe that. Maybe you don't. Okay? I'm not here to drive you to a perception. I'm not here to change your perception. All I'm here to tell you is what they said. Now, sometimes that gets me in trouble because a big part of my show, a big part of my programming, a big part of what I do is I hold developers accountable. Hey, ... you said X. Why is it now Y? So, for example, you said you weren't going to be on Steam. Now you're on Steam. Okay. They're like, oh, well, we're on Steam because it's gonna open up the game to a wider audience. It's gonna help us get coverage. Blah blah blah. Marketing. Blah blah blah. Cool. No problem. I'll agree with that. Don't polymorph under waterfalls. I'm the guy that found that. But I have no problem with them pushing out to Steam. Okay. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna jump. We have access to the game. Let's talk about it here. I am getting, I don't know if you guys can see that little green number over there. But I'm getting north of 80, 85. I'm like 80 to 93 frames per second. Now, what I want to do, turn that on. Or it's not going to show up. All right. I sometimes like to use an external frame rate counter. Control F is how I do it. So what I'm seeing, oh hell, oh, I don't like a lot. Oh, that's better. That's cooler. I like that. I'm probably gonna do horrible this first match because it doesn't look like my keybinds are there. Oh wow, damn. This is way better. This is way better. Oh. Help. Oh, look at that. Look at that. The map looks better. 97 people made it, 97 people made the jump with us. I don't... Whoa, no, I am way out of practice. Where the hell are we? Get out of here. I'm gonna say the graphics look better. Oh shit, that was a bad day. I'm gonna say the graphics looks better. Now, guys, you know that I'm normally all about my, I'm all about my viewers normally, but for the moment, I'm gonna try to not embarrass the Paradox Gaming Network. But are we back to... Alright, we're not. Okay. Oh, and I see you... I see they have made a few changes. Bye-bye. Okay, I am gonna say it needs a little bit more, shut up, Verra. Shut up, man. I always embarrass myself. I look over and I see hurtful comments from people who share my name. What's wrong with you? Oh! So. Let's see. And wait. 1 kill, survival time of 2 minutes, 110 XP earned. That looks a little bit better. Accuracy of 75%. Distance traveled 5.42k. I don't know what that is in reference to distance-wise, because the whole map's not even that big. But I'm gonna say right up 66th place. Not good, but you know, not bad. Let me do again. Let me see what people have been saying. Less frame rate loss. Yeah, it looked better. It felt better. It played better. This is also interesting. Levels at 13,000. That is a big change from 5,000. So I think there might be some disgruntled people. If people like me are already 50 and I did that with 250,000 XP, if people now have to do it at 13,000 a level, I think people might be upset. Also, if people have to completely restart, although let me take that back, because it looks like it's leveled out because of the amount of XP you're gonna get for quests. So I actually think, and I'm spitballing the math here, I think you might actually be better off. 45,000. Yeah, I think it might be a little bit more forgiving. There we go. There are horses now? Yes, there were horses. Believe it or not, there were horses in the early testing. They just were derpy. And what I mean by that is your teammates could kill you if you were a horse. There are also, look, pangolins. Hi guys. Hi pangolins. Aww. That's actually awesome. That made me smile. The fact that they have the little critters wandering around. That is a nice touch. So, for all of those haters out there that say they're not doing any development other than the Battle Royale mode, can somebody tell me what the hell the value of this thing is if it's not for the MMO? I mean, it's for the MMO. They're just working on it. They're gonna put the stuff in as they have it. So, I think the graphics look better. Let me check. Yeah, epic. I'd buy the game just to see pangolins walking around. I know, man. So would I. All right, where? I mean, the little things. It's the little things in a video game. It's the little things that make the world a difference. I do love. I love the drop. I love the drop-in now. This actually makes a lot more sense. Although I do still want an explanation. Uh-oh. Derp. What's going on? Are we dying? The stream's not dying. The game is dying. My whole computer freeze? No. Rip-a-rooney, man. Yeah. It's weird because I have to alt-tab out to get my mouse back. Server crashed for everyone in all regions. Well then. This is gonna be one of those days where my computer is gonna scream for mercy because it's gonna be like, how many times are you gonna load this? Do you think that the time frame of the test is too short? Well, okay, yes and no. Yes, of course I think that a 12-hour testing window is too short. I mean, logically, you want testing for as long as you can get. However, it's the first public test that they're doing since they took it down in February. How many hours do you need to get data? They probably, I'm going to be honest, they probably already have a pile of data. And so they could conceivably turn the test off now. They could say, we have enough. The benefit of them doing it for 12 hours is they're looking for the singletons. They're looking for the exceptions. They're looking for the why is it this way? For example, one of the things I saw is why are people having to install an NVIDIA anything if they don't have an NVIDIA graphics card? That's a pretty important thing. If it's a component you need in order for the game to work, then you need to explain it to people. Hey, we built it using this, so we need to have it. At the same time, I mean, I would love to have seen them do a 24-hour test. Hell, I'm the guy, and you guys, if you don't believe me, you can go all the way back to the official Discord. I'm the guy that said the day before the launch of the Battle Royale back in December, I said, you guys need to punt. You need to not release today, and you need to push this on down the road. Well, the truth is, they gathered the data that they needed, and then they spent the next 6 months fixing it. So, no, I'm not going to get seasick. If the payment model on ArcAge Unchained's launch is as good as they're claiming it will be, do you think you'll be playing it? That's a difficult question. And the reason why I say that's a difficult question is, my wife and I play Final Fantasy 14 together. My wife does not want to go back to, to ArcAge. And so then I'm at a loss. ArcAge is a very time-intensive competitive game. If you're going to be playing ArcAge, you need to be dedicated to it. Well, I don't want to be dedicated to it. I don't want to have to do all of the shit that's required. Now, if my circumstances were different, sure, absolutely. If my personal circumstances were different, I would absolutely jump into it. Without a doubt, because I think ArcAge is the best faction-based player versus player game on the market. But happy wife, happy life. That's how that goes. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't make an account. If it's $20, then I'll just make an account. I'll pop over, I'll do some stuff, I'll do some videos so that I can be more of an ARC-Age commentator. But really, ARC-Age turned out to be a theme. They've taken it too theme parky. If I'm gonna play a theme park game, I want to play a good theme park game. Only solo queues are available for matchmaking. Yeah, that's not good. That falls into the big le ouf. That's one of those things I talked about in my expectations video. If you were only doing 2 out of 3 modes to begin with, you kind of had to make sure that your 2 modes worked. Wow, man. That's not good. They's be having some problems. That's the second time I've frozen up. And that's not a good sign. I'm telling you, man. Close this out. This is systemic of not so good. I've seen I've seen companies with a I've seen companies with a lot less engineering staff put out, I hate to say it, but more stable products. Old Fat Gamer, the payment model of ARC-Age launch doesn't matter. It's the payment. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. You have to trust that Gamigo isn't gonna, you know, boondoggle you and turn around and 3 months later be like, oh, sorry, it's not economically viable, we're changing the payment method. That's a very valid point. I made that point in my video yesterday, like, hey, gotta see what's up a couple of months in. It seems to have gone backwards a bit. Yeah, a little bit, maybe. A little bit. I am a little concerned. Again, this is one of those, I am not sure why you would, there you go, look at that. I am not sure why you would put your first public test on Steam. I would not have done it this way. I would have done it with the Intrepid launcher only for this 12-hour test, because what it is, it's you're basically marketing 101. You never get a second chance to make a first impression, but you're not making your first impression, you're making your like third impression. So I wouldn't have done it this way. But, you know, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. I just at some point wish that they would think about what they're doing. And I when I say that, I constantly get PMs from people. They're like, well, they have the Phoenix Initiative and they're giving them feedback. The Phoenix Initiative is a great concept. The problem is you had to buy your way into it. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the feedback that, you know, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the feedback that you're getting from those people. But I'm going to say if we're all the red faction, we're asking who's the best faction on the server, you're probably going to get a unanimous answer of the red faction, you know? You sometimes want that dissenting opinion. The guy who's usually giving you the most honest feedback is the guy who, you know, has no vested interest. Hello, Meowbox. We talked about you earlier. You're the bad kitty who won't take her medicine. I know. If opening up on Steam doesn't... If it's opening on Steam, doesn't this open themselves up to people that may not have followed throughout the process and see this and have a bad impression? Yes. That is the problem. So, it's kind of like this. You got people like me. I see Crojack is streaming. Crojack's got it pretty healthy. I'm gonna hop over to Twitch real quick on my other screen and see just where we're at. So you got Stellar Elf, you got Crojack, Ashi, you've got 1,000 viewers right now. Hey, we're in the top 10 for streamers. I'm beating Danny. I've got more viewers than Danny. Danny's a good kid. I call him a kid because I've got kids older than him. But I mean, you got a lot of streamers for Ashes. Holy Christ, man! There are a lot of streamers right now for Ashes of Creation. So probably 50. There's probably 50 or more streamers. But this is what's happening. You've got these issues. I would have invited all of the Alpha 1 backers back to say, all right, we did internal, we did external. Well, we did internal with bots. We did external paid, I guess. I don't know where they got them. We did Phoenix Initiative. Now we're going to open it up to the 10,000 Alpha 1 testers. And then just like the last time, going to open it up to Alpha 1 and Alpha 2, Alpha 1 through Beta 1, Alpha 1 through Beta 2. Get those bits of data and get it going. This is a bad first impression. This is bad. Again, one side of the coin. Other side of the coin. This is their first attempt at doing this. So, again, I would have done it differently. However, it is what it is. Public perception is going to be what public perception is. Then again, there's people, it's like I said, if you guys didn't check out my video yesterday, there's going to be people that no matter how good it is, they're going to say that it sucks. So it's so hard to present to a community. It's so hard to present to a community that, and when I community, I mean the MMORPG genre community, that are just full of negative, toxic people. In their defense, it's nice to see more players connecting per match. Yes, let's talk about the positives for a second. Let's talk about the fact that we are in fact seeing 100 people per match, and let's say that we're not waiting for 10. No, let's be realistic. We're not waiting for 7 to 20 minutes for a match to kick off. When it comes to some of this stuff, just because there's somewhat disastrous results doesn't mean that it's total chaos and a catastrophe. There's a lot of times you get little things like this that only need small tweaks. So I'm not Chicken Little here. The sky is not falling. A lot of this is impression. What is the impression? From what I've seen, the gameplay is a lot smoother. We just need to get over this hiccup. There we go. See, we had to restart. It shows that their architecture rework actually did something. True. That is a very true point. Although one thing I don't like is that it's commandeering my mouse. And I'm in borderless windowed. I hate when it commandeers my mouse. Do I have you muted? I do have you muted. I have to unmute that channel. Okay. Somebody says, I'm crashing every game. What's good? Like, people trying to kill the pangolins. Damn, man, you savages. Yeah, it's still got that problem. But they just need... Oh, where is it? Oh, yeah, there it is. You can Oh, you can't get under it though, so that's good. Before you could do this and you could walk into the bricks, so half of that's fixed. That's good. Seems that quests are working. Yep, that was a big one. That was one of my big things when they launched in December. One of the things I was really disenfranchised with was they had done alpha testing, and in that alpha testing they knew that stuff was broken, but they still pressed forward with going to open beta. In retrospect, it doesn't make a difference because they needed to rework all the server architecture. With that said, though, part of the natural evolution between alpha and beta is, like, how many things should be on your known broken list before you push forward? 10 things? 20 things? One big thing and 40 small things? You shouldn't, I don't think you should be pressing forward to your next testing stage if you know you have a bunch of broken stuff. And that was one of the things. They knew they had broken stuff. Oh, sorry. You're I am going to say that it is a lot smoother. Take that off my screen. That doesn't seem to toggle it off. I don't want that crap on screen, but I'm stuck with it. Oh, not going out that window. I do love the invisibility as a shroud instead of a true invisibility. I've enjoyed that since the very beginning. Oh my god. That is awesome. I'm gonna just like completely go off. That's a cool those little cool spider feature. I wonder if the fanglers are in here somewhere hiding yet then. Go find me a fangler. Not sure if I like the new icons. It's kind of hard just as a quick glance to see like that invisibility. Kind of liked how it was before. Oh. Dude, the horses look nice. Here, if I die, I'm gonna over. I guess no mounting the horses. Thought I saw somebody say something that they couldn't either. Is that armor that I'm wearing? Yeah, I have the obsidian armor from the previous testing cycle. I told that story. I can't it won't let me. Oh. You've acquired a horse. Got it. Okay. That's a little weird. It's not a pickup, it's a charge. Gotcha. I'm gonna have to include that in the idiot's guide to arcade or Ashes of Creation. Did I see the arcade thing? Yeah, I saw that. I did a video on it actually. Video exploded compared to what my videos normally get for viewership. That video exploded. Which is gonna suck now for me because it hit like 3,500 views inside 24 hours. Now it's gonna it's gonna be the new template for my well, how do your videos normally do? Like, well, not good enough. Man, I got out of practice because some of you are battle royale players who've been playing other games. I haven't played anything BR. I don't play BR games, so I did fairly well. I did fairly well from August to December. Now it's just a matter of playing often enough to get better again. And guys, I see your comments. It's really hard for me. I'm not really good at battle royale games to begin with. I will respond to the comments in between matches. I don't want people to think that my style has changed, but that's why I'm glad squads aren't up, because I prefer to not ruin anybody else's day while I'm streaming. I prefer not to be, you know, prefer not to be the dead weight on the team. People are here for excellent BR gameplay. They are in the wrong channel. If they're here for good discussion, this is the channel. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, ironic musings. That's what my channel is for. There are much better players out there. And I have no problem admitting that I'm not very good. I wish I could found a potion launcher. That way I could just get rid of stuff in a hurry. I do like the little icons. I do like the icons that pop over. Hombre, 5-player kill streak. Down to 27 people. I've also forgotten the map a little bit. That kind of sucks. I used to be fairly familiar with the map. One thing is, I said it was kind of unfair. When we were playing in December, we were all playing against each other so often that we kind of knew every single player. So near the end, you knew how the match was gonna turn out because you knew who was left. You knew like their favorite weapons. So you knew there's 5 people left. I know who's left. So I know that the match at the end is going to be a ranged game. I know that who Fushi is up. He's going to be up somewhere hiding with a crossbow. I know this person's team is mostly still all here. So now with all these new people, I feel kind of bad. The same way I felt bad early on when we played. People would be like, it's not fair. I'm dying right away. Well, yeah, so were the rest of us. So I really should have been tearing up stuff looking for the sandal. Trying to get a feel for the game again. The water looks nicer. I will say that. I liked the shiny water. I think I like this water better. I want to go out there. Oh, I don't have a choice. 22 people hiding. 22 of us remain. So, hi horse. All these people are on like 5-person kill streaks. And I haven't even encountered somebody. I am not liking the window changes. Just killed himself. So that's actually kind of cool. I like that. There's a little marker that tells you when you're going to start getting armor back. Wow, 7-player kill streak. Somebody needs to take him out for me. Yeah, the block button thing, I'm gonna have to map out some changes, because some of you know this, some of you don't. My left hand is fairly crippled due to a pin in my shoulder. I don't have full use of my left hand, so I'm gonna have to put block for my weapon on my mouse. My bicep muscle in my hand atrophied a while ago. Delon hit you for 65 damage. I took myself out. I'm gonna leave this match. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna stretch my legs real quick, and then I will answer all this stuff that came down. I'll be right back. All right. So I see a whole bunch of questions. And there we go. Let's see. When you scroll your mouse wheel in and out, do you zoom? Don't know. I'll check. Let's see. You feel that the next arcade will split the player base? Yeah, that's always a concern. Every time they did a fresh start server, it split off the player base. Now that they're doing a completely different model, that will probably do that. Let's see. I wonder if that kind of mobility, like when you went through the window, will that be in the MMO? We don't know. Probably. We're hoping that we maintain the same levels of mobility. Let's see. Scroll in and out. No, this is your default camera, and I should have known that answer. But no, this is the fixed camera. There is a different camera for the MMO. So, see, block. Next weapon. Oh yeah, the mouse scrolling changes through your weapons. That's what it does. Where is block? Let's see block. Yeah, I don't see block on there. Dodge is X. And yeah, everything that you get, everything that you earn in Apocalypse transfers over to the MMO. That was a big thing. That was a really, really big thing for why I wanted the Obsidian armor. I saw it. I loved the design of it from the moment I saw it. I said, how do I get this? They said, get to level 50. I was like, Oh shit, that's gonna be problematic. But managed to do it. I don't really, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like this first drop in. I don't really like this first drop in. It doesn't give us a chance to like spread out, which I mean, that may be their intention. But I kind of liked the old way. I'm a fan of the old ways. I was there 3,000 years ago when we rode dinosaurs uphill both ways to get to our MMOs. Yeah, the look thing. A lot of people had a problem with it. They said, "Well, everyone's gonna look too nice on day one. You're supposed to look nice. You're like a hand-chosen hero returning from Sanctus to reclaim the world, your ancestral homeland. Like, yeah, you're supposed to look nice. You're not Johnny Scrub, you know. You're not Johnny Scrub that they just, you know, you fell off the turnip truck and you were like, oh, I need a job. I kind of hate that in MMOs where it's like everybody rises to the like to be the hero. Like whatever happened to like the turnip seller? Like you're nobody. Like one thing that I have a copy of Palladium Rifts on my desk. I've been a fan of it for 20 years. I love the fact that one of the starting classes was Vagabond. Like you get no special anything. You're a loser. You're just a poor bum in the world. What were you? Thank you. Danny's on a 3-player kill streak. Hello. Burden invisibility. We take what we can get, right? I still need to blow shit up. Have they toned down any spell animations? I haven't. No, I'm actually gonna say no based on that whole, potion launcher thing. Wow, they still have the bug for the chat box. They have a lot of things that you would have thought in 8 months would have been fixed. The bug in the chat box where it's like the same guy killed this guy 8 times. Like guys, 6 months. The bug is still here. Well, we can pick up 9 of these? Oh, no. Different ones. Wait a minute. Okay. Yes, you can pick up 9 of them. You can pick up 3 of the normal size ones. That's actually pretty cool. Get my ass in motion. Seen a little rubber banding too. Well, that's a new building. Haven't seen that one before. Kind of cool. Oh, didn't make it. That is one thing they did say, the edges of mountains and stuff. Danny's on a 5-player kill streak. Nobody needs to kill Danny. Or just put Danny on a ledge. He'll fall off. But yeah, I don't think they've toned down the default spell animations, but like they said when that was an issue last time, I mean, you're gonna have the ability to turn down your own. So hopefully won't be melting your graphics card. Although that's a problem. A lot of people were saying that as soon as they loaded the launcher, their computer temperature went up. I had a bit of that problem 6 months ago. It looks like the amount of resources it's pulling from the graphics card has gone down a lot. Back in December, it was like 91% of my graphics card was being used by the launcher. Like, what are you doing? Pretty potent stuff. I think Danny was going for like a 30 bomb. I think that was his goal for today for testing. Do I have 20 seconds? Get in it. So, like I said, I'm the guy you can come to talk the MMO when it's eventually out. I'm not the guy to talk to about battle royale games. Not my jam. I just play because I like finding the little things. No, not what I wanted. Get that back. Although I do need to use a wand. I do need to finish the wand. There we go. Appreciate that. Looks good for the numbers. Looks good for the corporate sponsors. Hey man, we got this many new follows today. Just kidding. I don't have any corporate. Even pays me on the 32nd of the month for all my shilling. Good? Yeah, I'll take you. I want the polymorph chess piece. There's some times in my highlight video where I'm a table in a room and people walk in. It's just amusing to me. Oh. So, I don't know if you can hear the coughing in the background. My poor wife. Middle of the summer, man. Viral infection of the lungs. Got him. That wasn't clean or neat by any means, but got him. How's the test going? The test is going pretty good now that it's calmed down. We had a bit of a rough period at the beginning. Oh, the drifter. Come to Papa. Oh, no time. Wasn't paying attention to the map. But yeah, my poor wife, man, she got a viral infection, upper respiratory infection, and just like damn near died. She couldn't breathe. Just, when your inhaler's not getting the job done, doctor's like, oh shit. But and then of course, the whole summer, not that you ever want to be sick, the whole summer would have been fine. It's of course the worst week for heat, humidity, and the pollen index. And so she's trying to deal with that. My daughter must have got stung by a wasp yesterday. Her whole leg was swollen up. She had a puncture wound. I was draining venom out of it. Like, my kids, man. Nobody in my family can do it easy. Is this the BR mode? Yes, this is the BR mode. This is the notorious BR mode. Lots of people don't like it. Lots of people don't like it because it's a BR mode. Haha, Danny died. Good. Get Danny the fuck out of here. We don't need no D Phantoms around here. When Danny's in the match, I usually realize I'm going out shortly. I don't like this new animation. That's what was causing me issues. It's like an overhand stab. It used to be different. I mean, I'm used to it. I like this weapon because this weapon is like the effects on it. But yeah, I see that they changed the animation on it. That's causing some issues. I will say, I am not an action combat guy. I don't like action combat. So I'm not gonna bullshit you when I say I don't like something. I don't like it. I don't want it. I'm not trying to sell you on it. I would just prefer that they scrap action combat altogether and go straight tab. I mean, if all things are going to be equal. But I know you action people like your action combat. I ain't trying to rob you of that. But they definitely have improved the combat animations. From the little bit that I've seen, they definitely have improved them. Like I said, I was usually a lot better with the staff or the spear. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't hit the dude. Well, because now the animation is different. Got to make sure to focus on the weapon better. Here. Thirteen of us left. Action combat feels better for PvP, basically. I mean, that's purely subjective. I mean, you're gonna say it feels better. I'm gonna say it doesn't. I mean, we can agree to disagree. I don't particularly agree with that statement. You know. Wow, that's a long drink. Yeah, I do not like the stat. I do not like the spear. I do not like it. Yeah, Baby Spice, you're in the same boat I am. You don't like action combat games that you and I share that that issue. All right, so I'm gonna avoid the spear from now on. I don't like it. I don't like that animation. What's the difference between the two? Action or tab? Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, burning through levels pretty quick once the dailies are done. What's the difference between action and tab? Quite simply, action combat is that crosshair reticle. If I don't have that on you when I hit the mouse button, I don't hit you. Tab, tab is anything. If I have you tab selected, most of the time, all I have to have you is in my, for ranged or magic, in my 180-degree arc, or melee, I have to be in ranged. Why tab? Aren't I tired of the same thing? No, I'm old. I don't necessarily want to change. I mean, for me, action combat is what you young kids play with your first-person shooters. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, not being insulting, but I'm not a first-person shooter sort of player. I don't find the enjoyment of them. Yeah, tab is aimbot, but the thing is for me, tab becomes then math. It becomes stats. It becomes gear. It becomes builds. I'm not taking anything away from action combat players. Personal choice, I'd rather be tab. I think that's one of the reasons why Intrepid is going so hard on Apocalypse, because the default is either they get hybrid combat right or they default to a tab-based system. Well, I don't think anybody wants a pure tab system. And I can't think of when the last time there even was a pure tab game. Most tab games have action-y skills, or let me clarify that. They have what Steven calls action-y skills. Steven's in the same generation of gamers that I'm in. If you have it tab plus enhanced, it's, you know, a different experience than straight tab. But like I said, I can't think of the last time we had a straight tab game. Warcraft is mostly full tab. There are some ground reticle things. There's some AoE centered off of you things. It's been a while since I played World of Warcraft. So like the Magus Frost Nova isn't a tab game or a tab skill. It's enhanced tab is what a lot of people call it, tab plus, because I don't have to have you tab targeted to hit you with it. If it's tab, what makes it different than any other game? All those other systems that they have is what makes it different from any other game. Caravans, node sieges, castle sieges, the meaningful world, the consequences. Those are all the things that make that will draw players to Ashes. Now, like I said, if they can pull off hybrid combat, I want them to. I want them to pull off good hybrid combat, because Steven's already said he doesn't consider ground placement skills tab. He considers those action. So I'm solid. I'll have my 75% tab, and I'll fill in the rest with those action-y skills. So I'm good. I'm covered. My playstyle is covered. With that said, and I don't think anybody has disagreed with me on this statement. So this is the statement I use when it comes to combat. You can have 10 really good systems in a tab-based game, and your player base will forgive you for it being tab because of all those other systems. But if you have shitty action combat, it doesn't matter how good all your other systems are. Shitty action combat is going to be shitty action combat. So I haven't actually had anybody disagree with that statement. So, but is that something that will get old and boring, just doing the same thing over and over again? No. I mean, I'm going to be honest. No, I've been gaming for 20 years. I find that you can do a really well done tab game. I don't think you have to have action to. I mean, yeah, of course, you can have a really shittily done tab game. I mean, tab isn't gonna make it great. You can still have a crappy game that's done in tab. Just like I said, I'm good with hybrid. Doesn't matter to me as long as I can play in a way that I enjoy. I hope everybody else. I hope everybody else gets the combat style they want. Yeah, shitty anything shitty is shitty, 100%. But tab is hard. Tab is kind of hard to fuck up. Action combat's kind of hard to get good. A lot of people didn't like BDO because of the combat. I didn't mind BDO's combat. I didn't like it. It wasn't so good. I was like, oh, I'll rough this out. Saw your comment about WoW PvP. Never really got into like the deep levels of PvP in WoW. Wasn't really my thing. I PvP'd my wife and I played together, so we PvP'd together. I liked Alteric Valley until it became who can race to the other guy's bosses faster. You know. Yeah, when that, like, honestly, they needed to change it so that at the max level, Alteric Valley, the bosses should have just been, like, unless you did the objectives, the sub-objectives, the sub-bosses, the main boss should have just been like, no, I smite you. Finish off this quest here. Don't really know if they like messed with my jam, man. I don't know if I like that. Don't know if I like what they did to my potion launcher either. I got some great clips. I used to be surgical with the potion launcher. I kind of like 2 bounce and sticks now, if that's what I'm seeing. I'm going to disagree with you that once there's nothing competitive, I mean, people are still playing Arcade and it's tab. I mean, people are still playing WoW and it's tab. People are still playing Final Fantasy and it's tab. I mean, it's hard to say people are going to get tired of it and then leave. These games, like, tab has a rich, long history. So, like I said, I would, let me say it this way. I would never go to a pure action game. Did BDO, did Blade and Soul, didn't really like the combat. There wasn't enough else to do in those 2 games to be like, oh, well, you don't like the combat, so all these other things are making up for it. I find it's very hard to do an action combat game and make up for bad action combat. And I don't think anybody's ever disagreed. You can have mediocre tab combat, but with enough other good systems, people endure it. They forgive you that it's tab. But I don't think people are going to forgive you bad action combat. You say you've been playing games for a long time, but those games you no longer play because after a while, they're all the same. Oh. No, actually, I switched games. I played Final Fantasy 11, and then I stopped playing Final Fantasy 11 because... Oh, I went to EVE Online. Just PvP. So I went from a theme park game to a PvP game, and then I left EVE Online to play... I got married. I played WoW with my wife. She didn't like EVE. I mean, she was never going to play it. So we went to WoW. Then we left WoW to go to Final Fantasy, because I'm a Final Fantasy fan. And then we left Final Fantasy to go to Arcade because we wanted PvP. And then we went back from Arcade back to Final Fantasy because Arcade went theme park. So we decided if we're going to play a theme park game anyway, we might as well play a good theme park game. So I didn't bounce around because of the combat systems, and I didn't leave any particular... Every game I left was because of my personal life, not the game itself. Like I said, my wife wasn't gonna play EVE. So I didn't leave EVE because of EVE. I left EVE because of my spouse. Now I went to BDO, didn't like it. I didn't like it more than Arcade. Went to Revelation Online, really kind of liked Revelation Online. The only reason why I left that was because my.com and didn't plug the massive exploit. So it wasn't like I ran out of things to do in it. I left because there was an exploit. EVE is prime tab targeting. Yeah, EVE isn't prime tab targeting. EVE is tab targeting. I mean, with the exception of what? Bomb launchers, smart, what the hell are they? Smart bombs? I can't think of what they are. Things you put on, I can't think of the name. It'll come to me. And then, really, that's it. Not torpedoes. The thing that you put on like battleships or carriers that pulses and kills everything around you. Can't think of the name. I want to say smart bombs. Problem is tab is not good for PvP and Siege. Yeah, people say that all the time, yet it seems to work. Seems to work for a lot of games. And see, that's where we start to get into this polarized. People say tab isn't good. Well, then the tab players say action isn't good, and we spin our wheels. No, not the stealth bomber stuff. I'm talking about what goes on the battleships. The it pulses around your ship. Usually, you use it to get rid of drones. Yeah, Lineage 2, where Steven comes from. A lot of Arcade is based on Lineage 2. I'm not Arcade. A lot of Ashes is based on Lineage 2. Lineage 2 is tab. Did just fine. Smart bombs. Yeah, okay. I was right. Glorious Testers, we investing in the freezing and disconnects. We will keep you updated. Cool. I do like the fact that the voice of God is able to talk to you. That's a bonus. Gonna catch anybody coming over the bridge. Have I done a one-on-one Q&A with Steven? I have done several one-on-one Q&As with Steven. I have a video on my website, or not on my website. I have a video on my YouTube channel where I sat down with him, asked him some really hard questions. He gave me some pretty good answers. Did a one-on-one with him last December. I jumped into voice comms and kind of grilled him for a bit because we needed those answers. But yeah, I've talked to Steven, and plus I talk to Steven on a somewhat regular basis, like individually. Goodbye. I mean, Steven talks to me in the channels all the time. It's just like, hey, what's up? And he's like, what's going on? Oh, hi. Ugh. But I need to break something down and find the secret sandal shrine. Yeah, I'm gonna do that this match. I'm gonna do that next. And yeah, Wolf, and what you just said is a big part of that. If people don't, if action players don't accept that they need to have a hybrid system, then you have smaller games. If you want the largest player base, then the hybrid system is the way you want to go. I know a lot of people don't think Intrepid's going to be able to pull off the hybrid system they're trying to do. I think they will. Here's where the disconnect is. I think Intrepid is going to pull off what they're intending to do. I just don't think people understand what Intrepid's trying to do, so it's not going to look like what they think. Like, I think it should look like this. And Intrepid's like, but we never said it was going to look like that. Like, I specifically asked Steven during my interview with him, what do you call action combat? Because we have lots of discussions in the chat, and people advocate, I think this is action, I think this is action, I think this is action. But until you get it from the man who's developing the game, what he says action is, well, nobody else's opinion really matters. And I get it. I always laugh at the people who turn around and they say, well, no, he's wrong. He's the creative director. For Ashes of Creation, no, he's not wrong. Like, the statement of he's wrong, it doesn't mean shit, really. You just don't agree with him. But there's a difference between you not agreeing with him and him being wrong. Hybrid may not be bad, just reward skill shots while allowing tab favoring players to modify spells. Here's the thing. Spells won't be... It's not going to be, I choose Fireball, and I take Fireball as an action or Fireball as a tab. The spell or the ability is going to be action or tab. You're going to have to take no more than 75% of one style. So I can take 75% tab skills, the other 25% have to be action. Whereas an action player might take 75% action skills, they're gonna have to have 25% tab. Not necessarily a horrible ratio, and it doesn't mean that that won't change to, you know, 100 to 0, because what did I ask him? I would consider I would consider any placeable template as an action, as more action than tab. So like ground reticles, he's talking about in this interview, he's talking about ground reticles are what he would consider more action than a tab ability. Now, that pisses off some people because they're like, well, WoW has ground placements, Arcage has ground placements. Well, that's where you have to have a common language. Are you saying something is straight tab, or are you saying stuff is enhanced tab? I would consider ground reticles as enhanced tab combat. Every tab game has ground reticles. I think you'd be hard pressed to find a game that doesn't. Well, yeah, generally even in tab games, the person has to be within your 180 field of vision. I don't know of too many games that intentionally allow you to attack people behind you. Most of the time, they have to be in your frontal view range. I mean, sometimes you get silliness where you get like archery shots that you're shooting people behind you. That, like I said, those are few and far between. What do I think, and what I think about the changes? I think the changes are great, to be honest. It feels smoother. I will definitely say that every ability isn't on the same animation template. Weapons that I was really good with, I'm struggling with. I was really good with the spear. The spear has, they've changed it now to an overhand strike, which is kind of an odd, I mean, it's how you would use a spear, so it's like accurate, but you usually don't see it done that way. But the spear's ability is so powerful that I'm glad that they tweaked it. The spear drains you of energy, so that's I'm glad that that one takes a little bit more effort. Boots of Arcane Power. Oh, there we go. Thing that kind of sucks is I like diving into games. The problem is I didn't even look at my quests. Thanks for engaging with us. Nah, that's the only reason why I stream, man. I only stream to engage with people. I understand that I am not the greatest gamer. I am not the greatest at action games. I thank people for tolerating my bad gameplay when we're here. I'm the guy that I want to talk about all the stuff, and then I go back over my shows. I download them, I read the transcripts, and then the important stuff I ping over to Steven. There's a forum we have as content creators that we give feedback to. So if there's a question, like this morning, I got asked a question I didn't have an answer to. I pinged Steven, I said, hey, I'm being asked a question I don't have an answer to, and he's like, let me get on that. And it turned out that my.com had the wrong build up on their website. But yeah. As Sweetheart said, I prefer my community. That's why I do this. That and, you know, retirement's boring. Retirement is boring. It won't be boring in like a week when it's cool enough to walk again. Been trapped in the house all the time. Sucks, man. I do have to look at my quests next time. It looks like whatever... See, at the beginning of the show, I said, although the results are disastrous, it doesn't mean it's a catastrophe. They are doing little tweaks. I'm at about 60 to 70 frames per second, which is pretty good, considering that they're tweaking on the fly. That's actually really... Oh, hurt you. It's actually really impressive results. Yeah, I'm getting up I see it popping over to 70. I'm hanging out at about 60 frames per second, so that's good. The game is beautiful. Can't wait for them to start on the MMO. They're already working on the MMO. Every single thing you see right now, these trees, these fences, these plants, these weapons, this armor, all of this stuff is for the MMO. A lot of people forget that the assets they're building, they're not building assets specifically for the Battle Royale. They're just building assets, and they're dual using them. The big accomplishment for APOC earlier on was the floating table thing. It was kind of a joke, and people were like, oh my god, how noobish, the table and the chairs aren't touching the ground, they're floating. Well, yeah, but whichever artist did that got to see their stuff in the live game, because this is still a live game if nothing else. They got to see that, and then they got to go and make their correction. And like I said, it's better for an artist to figure out, oh shit, I'm doing something wrong early on, rather than build 500 assets and then be like, oh, fuck my life, I'm working Saturdays with no pay while I fix all these assets. So I know people don't like the Battle Royale, but it's paid dividends multiple times over. Many times over. But yeah, I mean, believe me, 100% agree with you. I would much rather, even if I was only playing in a one town 20 quest map, I would much rather be doing that. But like I said, this is all for our action combat brethren. This needs to happen for action combat to work right. Jeff said in a live stream once, tab is easy. I'm going to be honest. I know many people that play with Unreal Engine and make their own little, their own little standalone games for, shits and giggles, practice, or first year college students making things that work. You can make tab pretty easy. Then it just becomes a matter of math balance. Is the combat that you're seeing representative of the game? No. This is less than 50% of the combat. This is less than 50% of the combat. This is only action. This isn't action skills. This is just action abilities tied to the weapons. Now that becomes representative of how those action skills are going to work. And the time to kill in the Battle Royale is 5 to 7 seconds, sometimes 2 to 3 seconds. If I'm fighting you, it's like 30 seconds. All you got to do is move sideways. I'm going to miss you every time. But time to kill in the MMO is going to be about 30 seconds to a minute. Isn't action combat more involved? Yeah, action combat is way more involved to develop because it's all about the character frame, the character mesh, the animation. When does the strike happen? At what part of the animation does the strike happen? Just to get the hit or miss is a huge process. And then you have to get into all of the math that you would have to get into with tab anyway. Tab combat is literally math. Accuracy, it's a check of, do I hit them, yes or no? Do they evade, yes or no? Now that we figured out if I hit them and or they dodged, now we do math. And we figure out how much damage I do. And that really is, at the lowest level, that is that. Danny died again. Ghosty killed Danny. Danny's getting beaten up today. And this is how I live my Battle Royale career. Usually running. I need to stop. I need to just dive in for a couple of matches and just pick up the first weapon. That's how I got better the last time. Just diving in. Just driving straight in, killing people with an axe. Oh, I saw it. Oh, they got me. Oh, wait, who killed me? Oh, Flamboyant. I thought that was Cam. I was like, what the hell, man? The more you do, the more you learn. Yeah, that was the big thing. You gotta... I have to get used to my other mouse that has more buttons on it. The truth is that today's a bad day for me. Today I'm having a hard time curling my hand down to X, C, and V. It just sucks. I need to not be lazy and not skip my my physical therapy on my hand. But yeah, even my wife hated it. My wife, Tamir, hated. She absolutely hated the Battle Royale when she first jumped into it. She doesn't like action combat games. She She didn't like BDO. She doesn't like first-person shooters. So she absolutely despised it, and I was like, well, hey, you're an alpha backer. You have an obligation to test and provide feedback. And she did, and she started getting pretty good. But that's how you get better, by diving in. Is it looking like the PvP will be a lot more skill based or gear based? I hate that question. I always hate that question because it's an MMORPG. So of course gear is going to play a factor. If the gear didn't play a factor, why would anybody gear? I mean, it's kind of the crux of the genre. You want to get the best in slot. With that said, they want it to be somewhat skill based, but they also want you to be rewarded for obtaining the best gear. So that's really an unfair question for MMORPGs. Chronicles of Illyria, Caspian tried to say that guy, I feel horrible because he's got such a good idea, such a good idea for a game. He just can't talk to his community. He says, well, in our game, it's possible that a brand new day one character in starting gear would be able to kill a vested character that has endgame gear. Why is anybody going to play this game then? Like, think about that. The reason why you go and get the best gear, and you go and get the best gear to make up for the deficiency. You don't want to. If a brand new character is going to be able to kill you, why do you stay dedicated to that game? So yeah, that's always a bad question. Action combat leaves room for experience and skill to make up for small differences in gear, I would assume. Let me see. I phrased that poorly. I'm thinking more concerned with there being limitless heights of gear ceiling, like the whales in Arcade that spend tens of thousands and still have room for improvement. Well, let me take that one first, and then because Snuggle makes a good point. Ashes of Creation is going to have a ceiling for gear based on, quite simply, the availability of legendary items. Now, we bust Steven's balls a lot, and some of the stuff he says, I'm just like, dude, what? Why? Why? They started off with legendary items being legendary, being in fact like legendary. And then it became legendary and legendary unique. And then it was, well, some of the names may change prior to launch. Well, I certainly hope so, man. I certainly hope that you're going to change some of the names prior to launch, because you don't want confusion. And in saying that you're going to have legendary and legendary unique leads to confusion. This isn't going to be a game where everybody can have a legendary this or a legendary that. Literally, if you have a legendary weapon, you conceivably will have the only one of it. Legendary unique means one. So you have the great sword of the Paradox Gaming Network. That's it. You have it. There ain't nobody else getting it, because you have the unique only version. I hate the wand. Legendary quest should be able to lead to a legendary item, though. Yeah, that's how you're gonna get it. I think I'm frozen. That's how you're going to get that legendary weapon. The problem is that once you have it, there's not another one at the end of the next. There's not another one for the next person. So you're the first person who figured it out. Then that's it. Likewise, you could be on a server for 5 years, and a particular a particular configuration of nodes. I don't know how much of your guys' background with Ash as a creation is. So what I'm gonna say is I have a link down below to Ashes 101. It's the website that I do. Everything I do is educational flavored. So the website's really kind of written like a textbook. So that, hey, it's not the wiki, so you're not just reading fact after fact after fact. It's written kind of like your history textbook would be, or your science textbook. And I can actually say that because I'm a teacher, or I was a teacher, before some terrorist assholes blew up some buildings. But there may be a legendary item that's in a dungeon that only unlocks when node 50 is level 5, node 49 is level 3, and node 57 doesn't exist. And when all those things happen, then the landscape changes and this dungeon opens, and then it's Steven's pet one-eyed dragon. You kill it, you harvest its other eye, you make the legendary weapon out of that. First raid that kills it brings a master gatherer with them. They pull out the eye. They get to make the legendary weapon. Nobody else gets to do it. That's it. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a trip with gearing. Nice playing on an EU server, won twice so far. Good, man. Oh man, a wand. Never seen this, about to go win Guardian Leviosa on someone. Yeah, man, the Harry Potter memes are out of control. Also, I gotta share this with you guys. Those of you that have been around my show for a while, my daughter's nickname is Gizmo. And it's raining out. Tamir just texts me, random rain, Gizmo can't get wet, I have no umbrella, she's gonna multiply. Let me tell you, I love my daughter. I love exactly one of my daughter. One. Do you think that there'll be legendary equipment for crafters and gatherers? Yes, I do, actually. I really do. Gatherers, most certainly. Gatherers, most certainly. Crafters, I can't honestly say I've seen enough of the setup to answer that. It's kind of difficult. Oh, there you go, Tamir's here. Shit, don't talk about the wife. The wife is watching via her phone. Legendary equipment for crafters always becomes a bit of a problem. And the reason why I say that is, if you make it so that there's legendary equipment for crafters, and there's items that can only be crafted by a crafter with that legendary equipment, you really are creating a situation where some gear may never, ever exist. And if you're going to have a situation where some gear may never, ever exist, haven't you wasted a lot of development time building a lot of shit that never is going to see the light of day? You know what I'm saying? So if I have to have a legendary blacksmith's hammer in order to make a legendary blacksmith's hammer in order to make a whatever, then anything that's locked behind the legendary blacksmith's hammer recipe might not ever be seen. I think that's a lot of wasted development time. I just don't think that is a smart decision to go. Now gatherers, you can certainly limit. Oh shit. I was fighting that dude with a rusty axe. So you think that just having legendary craftsman is enough without gear? Yes, absolutely. I think having quests that your craftsmen have to do. I think having legendary quests your craftsmen have to do is more than enough, because you don't want to have wasted development time. So yes, absolutely. What do I have to do? Swords, armor, matches with friends can't do. Bows, that's gonna suck. Can't do squads. Heal 150, I've tried to get that one done. Just trying to get a couple more of these done. I ain't playing for like a whole lot of hours. My kids are about to be home. And you guys know, family with me. But I haven't had a chance. I haven't had an opportunity to stream for a long time. I haven't had a chance to hang out with you guys. So, do a little bit of that. It's Tamir's turn to make dinner. Beef tips and rice, man. She makes wicked beef tips and rice. Here's another thing I didn't mention earlier in the show. I want you guys to look at the cloak. The cloaks, one thing that they've had right since the very beginning is most of the time in games, cloaks look like trash. Cloaks look horrible. This is the this is the first game I've seen where a cloak actually isn't just attached all the way at the back and flows. Looks actually nice. Now I gotta be more like Braun, and I need to get this big target off my back. Like, you see that folding over? That's actually really well done. So that impressed me. Whoever did the cloaks, they get to have an extra donut, which Kalez and somebody else, Z, sent donuts to Intrepid. Good on them. Connor, good friend of mine, he asked me if in 5 hours if I'm gonna be playing. I might be. I might come back tonight. Might hang out a little bit. But he says, I guess I'm getting my ass beat by a staff. There's a clip where I'm chasing him around. I'm just beating the shit out of him. He couldn't see me. Somebody pinged me. I don't like being pinged. But it's been nice being back. Am I gonna do a video on this beta experience? Yes, I will definitely be going over my notes, some bits and pieces. I gotta rewatch this. I'm gonna be honest, I really enjoy making videos because I really like the structured activity of video making, because it's like lesson plan writing. But at the same time, I really love streaming because it's just free form. You just jump on and you talk. The problem is when you're jumping on, talking, jumping topic to topic, you don't have a notepad out. So now when I go to make my video later, I'm gonna be like, what shit, I got no notes. So I'm gonna have to rewatch this for my talking points. But really, to be nope. Run away, my ads. To be 100% honest, for what this was and what this was supposed to do, I think APOC has performed today the way it needed to. Again, little bit of marketing difference, little bit of advertising difference. I would not have put this on Steam. I would have put this up privately for the 10,000 backers, or shit. Even if you wanted to do everybody with a backer package. I think there might be some business maneuvering for why they put this up on Steam for open, because they want my.com obviously wants European players to be linking their accounts. I mean, they obviously want to make money. My.com didn't give Steven a bunch of money and didn't, get servers and stuff to not make money on the deal. So, got to keep that in mind. So I get why people were a little mad. I'm not gonna say I don't get it. I do. At the same time, I know people are mad that Europe got my.com. Well, what answer would have been acceptable to you? Steam store? Then you got to realize that Intrepid's losing 30%. Epic exclusive? Like, it's infuriating to me. It's infuriating to me how many people get frustrated with businesses. Remember, at the end of the day, a business exists to make money. They're in business to make money. Steven's dropping 30 million on the game. It's a passion project. Dude's not just gonna open his wallet, throw 30 to 40 million, because he's now recently said it may take him up to 40 million to finish the game. He's not just gonna go out of pocket 40 million, the shit fall on the pavement, and oh well, 40 million. Rich people don't get rich by throwing money away. So with that said, he wants it to be successful. He's not after it for the money. If he was after it for the money, he would have just kept his money in his pocket. But at the same time, he doesn't want to see it fail. I don't think he's making any decisions like, how can I fuck my game up today? How can I fuck my company up? Let me do that. Not doing that. Is there a time frame? Seemingly can't switch weapons. I also can't hit the... How can I be low stamina? How can I be registering that I'm low stamina, but not registering that I'm hitting this dude? Yeah. Froze again. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm just gonna hang out for a second. Is there a time bracket for the MMO to be coming out? No. Here's the thing. Clearly, we know for a fact that they had some major issues. The major issues that they had were they had to rebuild their entire backend. So that was a pretty that was a pretty big, oh fuck moment. When you have to start going back to square zero after however long the development time on APOC was, and then September, October, November, December, January, February. So 6 months of it being up and running, not all the time, but 6 months of it being up in spot testing. And then you decide, shit, we got to go back to square one. I liken it to building a house. And I'm so tired of people being like, well, building a house is easy. Well, then go build one. Building a house is easy. Cool. Go do it. Well, I don't know how. Well, no shit, because it's not easy. You get training on how to do it. I think a lot of people forget. They're like, hey man, it's raining and can't you put the roof on the house? Be like, no, the foundation's cracked. We're gonna stop building. We gotta start over. It's the same sort of thing. People are like, why isn't the MMO further along? Well, what precisely do you want them to be further along about? Like, let me go find a pangolin. Like, clearly, they're doing stuff. I mean, look at that little dude. He's rolling around. I mean, clearly they're working on stuff. And I know some people are going to say, well, what's the value added of that? Well, some artist animated it to show. That right there, that little pangolin, that's a benchmark for me. That's a milestone for me. And I know it seems like the stupidest thing. People are going to be like, well, why is that so important to you? Because clearly they have people working on the little bits and pieces. Engineers aren't doing the artwork. Artists are doing the artwork. I don't necessarily like this UI. I don't know why toggle tutorial. I haven't seen this stuff popping. I'm gonna try again, but I'd like to get all this crap off my screen. I probably just can't find it in the menu. With that said, they clearly have been working on the game. So I don't want a half-assed, half-finished MMO to come out and then people be like, oh, it's dead on arrival. Well, I'm glad Steven is... We're having some server issues. Because I can't dismount my Griffin. We're having issues. Come on, man, let me out. If I'm gonna be stuck, I want to go look at the scenery. There we go. See? Buckbeak. We're just gonna fly around. What? Once they get the architecture finished, they'll be able to move along. Wow, I didn't notice that earlier. That crystal looking pretty good. Oh, you know what? Can I get... Where am I? South. Can I get to the underrealm before we crash? I haven't bebopped. I haven't bebopped to the Tallner's home. Oh, you're not gonna let me go up, are you? Oh, there we go. We're stuck. We're crashing. Crashing and burning. But... And then, yeah, a lot of people don't think of it as a company's perspective. There is a huge difference, and I'm just going to use myself for an example, in how I stream. There is a much radically different methodology behind my streaming and somebody who needs to do this for a living. I'm going to go, like, I don't get, like, I'm a honey badger. I don't give a shit. If I don't like something that a company does, I'm going to go right after the company and I'm going to say it. A year and a half ago, I didn't like what Tryon Worlds did with Arcade. I went after them both barrels, man. Oh, look at that! Dancing Leprechaun. 18 months ago, I didn't like something that Tryon did. I went after them both barrels. Their community manager jumped into my channel, and one of their staff members jumped into my channel. The staff member was crying like, I can't believe you're attacking my integrity. And I'm like, dude, you work for Tryon Worlds. I'm denying you have any integrity. Like, you know, it's just that simple. Now, a content creator who relies on their money from companies to, you know, feed their families, they're never gonna get confrontational. They're never gonna get belligerent. I mean, at the end of the day, what's the worst thing you're gonna do to me? Take away my official content creators label? Well, that's cool, but then a lot of people are gonna ask, why did you do that? Where was he wrong? I remember when Tryon Worlds got all pissy with me and I did the video, this is all the places you're wrong. It blew up in Crolin's face. They were like, well, he's just being negative. The truth isn't negative. I did an entire video where I didn't even speak. I just said, this is what, I literally took a clip. This is what you said. Put another clip. This is what you said 2 weeks later. That's not me being negative. That's you not knowing what in the fuck is going on. And Steven knows that I do the same thing. The only difference is he doesn't try to bullshit. I will say he does try to handle me a little bit. He does try to rein me in a little bit. Of course he's gonna fucking try to rein me in. He's the CEO of the company. Of course he's gonna try to rein me in. But he doesn't ever tell me, like, oh, you shouldn't be saying that. Oh, you're hurting the company's reputation. It's like, dude, show me where I'm factually wrong and I'll issue an apology. If I'm factually wrong, I will always issue an apology. Hell, man, if I'm factually wrong, sometimes I take the videos down. I'm like, fuck. Like, I was wrong on some stuff for Arcade. I just took I didn't take the videos down. I kept them up as a reminder to me. Like, hey, you're a dumb fuck. But nobody else can see them. They're not publicly accessible. Like, yeah, man, you're a dumb fuck. You need to learn to pay a little bit more attention to what you're doing. Somebody just try to shoot me. I don't even have a weapon. Oh, I do. I guess I might. I know somebody's over there. I don't really like where I'm at the moment. Not a good time, not a good place. I'm gonna die. That moment when you think you had one set of boots equipped, you actually have another. Damn, dude. Let's see. Hey, Jalon, how's the testing so far? The testing is good, man. As you can see, I'm fucking horrible, but, you know, that's okay. With my 21% accuracy, I have never claimed to be good at Battle Royale games. I suck. I embrace the fact that I'm horrible. But I'm trying to finish off the wand quest. I think I'm done with the wand quest now. Yeah, I'm done with the wand quest. So no more wands. Swords, bows. Swords and bows. Glad you could catch my stream. Mostly watch your AOC videos on YouTube. Yeah, man. I'm actually, you know, I love making AOC videos. I love making Ashes of Creation videos. They make me smile. They make me happy. It's something to do. It's something to do. Plus, making the videos is driving Ashes 101. I want to make a repository for information. I learned a lot, and I have to thank you guys. I haven't thanked my audience yet today. I have to thank you guys because I started off making videos really just because there wasn't a content creator on Verra. And then somebody said, hey, you should... Oh, let me roll it back. We didn't have a content creator on Verra. And then I was just making comical, like, throwaway videos. Like, PvP. Who wants to watch Cleric PvP? Healer PvP sucks. Nobody wants to see that. So I started making content. And then my guild in Revelation Online, everything was in Korean. And I was figuring stuff out. And I was typing up stuff. And then people would be like, well, can you come and show me? Because I can't figure it out. And I was like, man, I don't got time. I was still working at the time. I don't got time to teleport to this place 8 times in a night to show people. I'm like, fuck it. Let me just make a video. And then when I went back to ArcAge, I was like, well, wait a minute. Just do the same thing. It's almost like teaching. And so now I absolutely love making 101 videos. I love making helpful videos. I do get a lot of like pissed off people, like especially when I make like how to make gold videos. They're like, dude, you ruined my secret. Sorry. Seems like the hitbox for the wand is a little small. Yeah, I will say the hitbox for the wand may be a little small. Maybe a little bit. Little. Finding game server. Or you guys are gonna see the Gizmo Munchkin. He is home. My other one forgot her math homework. Mom had to go back to school. But hopefully she knows. Hopefully she does her math homework. Let's see, are you hyped for the ArcAge announcement? Yeah, I'm not necessarily hyped for the ArcAge announcement. What I am hyped for, okay, what I am really hyped for is the fact that my video about the ArcAge announcement has almost 4,000 views. So I'm really hyped for that. I'm hyped because it has almost 4,000 views, not because I care about the views, but because if my video has almost 4,000 views, it means there's a pool of people. There's a pool. Come here. They'll say hello to you. You can say hi to the people. That means there's a pool of people who are interested. Hello. But if there's 4,000 people watching a video about an announcement, then, you know, there might be a population. Hold on 1 second. Alrighty. This is actually going to be my last match for the stream because I told you guys, parenting first and foremost. One of the kids has math homework, and that means I gotta stop. I gotta go be dad. Because being a parent is the most important thing you can ever do in your life. Because your children are gonna pick your retirement home. So be good to your kids. But this has been a really good, really good testing experience. A lot of hiccups, a lot of fumbles, stumbles, bumbles, but oh my god, the graphics, huge, vast improvement. Like, unbelievable. I 100% concur with the statement of I want to see this as the MMO world. I'm chomping at the bit now to get into the MMO world. This looks great. The combat is definitely smoother. Definitely smoother. So I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, I've played a whole... No. Yes, I'll keep that. I've played a whole bunch of matches today, mainly because I like hanging out with you guys. I don't necessarily like Battle Royale games, but if my being horrible at them helps Intrepid build a better action combat system, then I'm all for being horrible. And obviously, like I said, I haven't played any Battle Royales for 6 months. I will be playing because, you know, I don't like failing. I like getting better at stuff. Damn, Bossa Nova is crazy good. Or everybody he finds is just crazy bad. There was one video where I have 6 kills and I was like, I have 6 kills and I felt bad because I think I picked on like 6 brand new players. Homework is ridiculous for young kids. Yeah, not that one. Not the little one. The little one gets like, she has a spelling test every week. She gets some words. One of the 8th graders has math homework, and she kind of derped her life up a little bit, which is fine because we all do it. The district just went to block scheduling, so every kid now has 90 minutes of math. Every kid has 90 minutes of math, but then they also take 90 minutes of math and they gave them a math supplemental. So I'm like, why did you take a kid who hates math and give them 3 hours of math a day? That's just not cool. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show today. I hope you got some answers. If you ever have any questions, you can hit me up on Discord. I'm Jalan #0001. If you haven't signed up for Ashes of Creation yet, there is a link down below with my referral code. I have to do a minimum amount of shilling. The more important one to me, though, is Ashes 101. We already have a lot of information about Ashes of Creation, the MMORPG. Click on that Ashes 101 link. It'll take you to my textbook for the course. I will probably be back later tonight, but like I said, one of the kids came home. They have math homework, so that's an automatic stop, timeout. Gotta go be a dad. Plus, I'm about to hit the 3-hour mark anyway, so probably time for a break. You guys take care, and I will see you later. And make sure to check out my YouTube. Lots of good stuff there. See you guys.